Hi there, everyone. Excuse me, apologies for starting the webinar with a cough. I had a frog in my throat or something. Appreciate you all making time. This is the first webinar for the 2024 VETS Indexes Employer Awards Program. Excuse me again. I will get started with a screen share so that you all can see my slide deck. I know we had a whole bunch of people register for this, and I know everyone is still kind of gradually coming in and joining. That being said, I will just get things started just to be respectful of everyone's time and get things moving. I will add that if you want to catch up on any part of this presentation you may have missed, either at the beginning, the middle, the end, whatever. We will be posting this full presentation on our website, so do keep an eye out for that. But let's get things started. So here's a quick look at the things we're going to cover today. I will start with some introductions for VETS indexes, let you know a little more about who we are, give an overview of the Employer Awards Program. I'll show everyone our 2023 awardees, talk everyone through the benefits of participating, talk about a few of our programs that are kind of related to the Employer Awards Program, the Veteran Employment Benchmarking Service and the Employing U.S. Vets Conference. Then we'll start to look at the survey in a bit of detail. I'll talk you all through the various sections of the survey and what's new in this year's survey. Then give everyone some shortcuts, tips, and advice to help you fill out the survey kind of as quickly and easily as possible, and also maximize your award level. And then finally, I will answer any and all questions that you all have. Let me say now, please, as you think of questions, please enter them into the chat. You should be able to access that chat portion as well as the Q&A. If you will enter questions into there just as you think of them, when I reach the end of the presentation, I will just go down the list and address every question that you have. So with that, let's get things started. I'm starting off with a disclaimer about our survey. So I know this is some relatively dense legal language to try to be reading on a screen share. Rest assured, this same disclaimer language we have as part of our survey. So you'll find it both in the blank survey PDF as well as near the end of the survey that you fill out online. So if you're not able to see this clearly, or if you want a little more time to review it, please look for it in our survey. With that legal language out of the way, let's do some introductions. So I know a few of the folks here have worked with us in the past, and I'm so happy to have you all continuing to work with us and be part of the VETS Indexes Employer Awards Program. But I'm also so gratified to see so many new organizations signing up for this webinar and expressing interest in the Employer Awards Program. And so for the benefit of those newcomers, wanted to give everyone a quick introduction to VETS Indexes, who we are, where we are, what we do. So we were founded in August 2017, and we have very quickly become a leading voice on veteran employment issues. We have offices in New York and Washington, D.C. I'm speaking to you right now from Washington. And we have four primary initiatives that we do at VETS Indexes. The first is what we're here today to talk about, the VETS Indexes Employer Awards, which is a complimentary survey and recognition program that I'll be going into a lot more detail about as this webinar continues. Second is our Veteran Employment Benchmarking Service. This is our newest initiative at VETS Indexes, and one of the ones that I'm most excited about. We collect a huge amount of data as part of the VETS Indexes Employer Awards Program, and through our benchmarking service, we can actually spit that data right back out at the organizations participating so they can see how they stack up against several different comparative averages that show them both at a summary level and in very granular detail what their competitors are doing with their veterans programs. So I'll give you a little more detail about that a bit later. Next is the Employing U.S. Vets Conference. This is a twice yearly event that we put on where we gather the nation's top experts in veteran employment from across the federal government, the top private sector employers of veterans, nonprofit organizations, universities, colleges, really all of the top experts wherever they may come from. And they share best practices, talk about what's worked for them, what hasn't worked. Our last version of that conference, we were so humbled at the turnout. We had about 2,500 people register, and we had more than 1,500 different organizations representing. Just incredible numbers. So you definitely won't want to miss that. More information on that to come in just a moment. And last but certainly not least are our indexes of publicly traded companies. If you've ever wondered why are they called VETS indexes, well, this is why. So I will, on the next page, give you all a little more information on our indexes. This is the last I'm going to talk about them because it's kind of tangential to what we're here today to talk about, the VETS Indexes Employer Awards program. But this was kind of the founding, central founding concept for VETS indexes. It was based on the theory that veterans represent a very valuable yet underappreciated human resource. And our theory of VETS indexes was that the organizations that do the best job leveraging this very talented pool of individuals will ultimately see that benefit show up in their bottom lines. So we developed a couple tracking indexes that can be linked to financial products that track the organizations established as the best veteran employers through the survey we're here to talk about today. We make that determination based on the VETS Indexes Employer Award surveys. So you can see the performance history. The dark blue represents VETS X, our flagship index. The light blue represents the S&P 500, a common financial benchmark. And you can see how strongly that investment thesis has been demonstrated to be accurate with returns easily exceeding the S&P 500. So this is, I will say, this is the one thing VETS Indexes does that is limited only to organizations of a certain profile. Obviously, the only way that an organization can be eligible for our indexes is if they're publicly traded. I want to strongly emphasize it's only the indexes that has this limitation. Literally everything else we do, from the Employer Awards program to the conference to the benchmarking, is for organizations of all types and sizes. This necessarily needs to be the exception, being that we're talking about publicly traded companies. So the last piece I will say related to our indexes is we are right now in the midst of a significant renewed effort to link more additional financial products to our indexes. So if you happen to work for a financial institution and might be interested in possibly finding out more about partnering with us on this, would love to have that conversation with you. Just shoot me an email, survey@vetsindexes.com. Will go right into my inbox. With that, let's jump into the main topic that we're here today to talk about, the VETS Indexes Employer Awards. At a high level, the purpose of this program is to evaluate all aspects of organizations' veteran employment programs, from recruiting to retention to development to support to focus on other military connected groups like Guard and Reserve members and military spouses. So we take a very broad view. As I mentioned before, and I want to emphasize this very strongly, this program is open to employers of all types and sizes. Publicly traded companies, sure, but also privately held companies. government agencies and departments. We always have lots of law enforcement agencies fill out the survey, nonprofit organizations, colleges, universities, large organizations, small organizations, it doesn't matter. Bottom line, if you represent an organization who is focused on hiring, recruiting, retaining, developing, supporting veteran employees, the VETS Indexes Employer Awards Program is for you. We take a very objective, very data-focused approach to this evaluation. There are some other veteran employment evaluations out there that might be a bit more subjective. They'll ask you to, write a paragraph about how much you like veterans, and they'll give awards to the paragraphs that they like best. That's nice. I don't think it really allows the sort of meaningful apples to apples comparisons that we think are essential and that form the basis of the VETS Indexes Employer Awards Program. We use numeric data and hard facts to make meaningful comparisons, not subjective opinions. Perhaps as a result of this approach, we've been very humbled to see the rapid growth in the survey. Just in the last year, between the 2022 survey and the 2023 survey, the number of respondents better than doubled, an incredible growth rate. And the 2024 program only launched a little more than a month ago. We're already on track to outpace 2023. Really, really excited to see that growth. And last, but again, certainly not least, this might be the single most important thing that I'm going to cover today. It's absolutely essential to VETS Indexes that the way we conduct the VETS Indexes Employer Awards Program is of the highest integrity. And as a result, we have entirely demonetized the Employer Awards Program. We think it's very important that the Employer Awards can only ever be earned based on what organizations are doing for veterans. They can't ever be bought based on any organization giving money to us. For us, that is a very clear and very important ethical line in the sand that we will not cross. So you may have encountered other veteran employment awards programs with different policies in this regard. For us, that's a line that we just will not cross. A little more on that in a second. First, let's talk through our awardees from 2023. We recognized 200 employers with awards across 4 different award levels: 5-star employer, 4-star employer, 3-star employer, and recognized employer. Important also for me to mention that not every organization that submits a survey is recognized with an award. It's important to us that the VETS Indexes Employer Awards are really reserved for the organizations that show they're going above and beyond for veterans, that really positively differentiate themselves. And in order to do that, we can't just give everyone a participation trophy for submitting a survey, regardless of what the survey says or if it's entirely blank. You really do need to positively differentiate yourself. That being said, we absolutely do not publish any sort of list of the organizations that submit surveys for the VETS Indexes Employer Awards but aren't recognized with an award ultimately. We understand this is a self-selecting group, and our goal here is to try to encourage, motivate, and help organizations improve their veterans programs. No reputational risk from that standpoint. Let's now take a look at our awardees from 2023. This page, I would absolutely encourage you to view yourself. It is on our website, vetsindexes.com/award-results-2023. You can see our full list of awardees from 2023, as well as our previous awardees. You can see from this drop-down menu. I'll scroll down so you all can see our 5-star employers. I'm only going to show you the 5-star employers right now. Again, we had 50 organizations that we were recognized in 2023. I'm sorry, we had 200 organizations that we recognized in 2023. I'm not going to take up everyone's time going through all of them. but let's look at the top level awardees. As I scroll through this list, you're going to see organizations of varying types and varying sizes, from multinational household names that everyone is familiar with and has heard of, to your local county sheriff's office down the street. We intentionally designed this program to be balanced so that organizations of all types and sizes can compete on a level playing field, and there isn't any one like profile of organization that has an inherent advantage over the others. And I think that the wide variety of types of organizations that you're seeing here, kind of demonstrates this really is an awards program for organizations of all types, regardless of what your organization looks like. Congratulations to our 2023 awardees, our 5-star awardees in particular, who really had to go above and beyond to earn that top level designation. So as your organization or any other organization is considering whether to participate in this program or similar ones like it, you've got to consider the various costs that may be inherent in it. So I want to go through some of those right now as they apply to the VETS Index's Employer Awards program. First is something that I mentioned previously, but I will emphasize it again because it is entirely central to everything that we do. Our awards program is not for sale in any way. There is absolutely no cost to participate in any part of the process. There's no cost to register for an invitation for the survey. There's no cost to get your survey invitation, to fill out and submit your survey, to have your survey evaluated, to be recognized with an award, or perhaps most importantly, there's no licensing fee or charge of any kind to use the little logo associated with your award level on communications to establish, hey, we're a 5-star employer, we're a 4-star employer. Again, for us, it's a very important ethical line in the sand. Is the primary purpose of what we're doing here to give veterans a true, accurate, objective look at what employers are doing to try to attract and support them, or is this just a pay-to-play, money grabbing operation? It's very important to us that we are clearly in the former camp and not in the latter. So for that reason, this entire program is completely demonetized. But there are other concerns to be thinking about, other ways, other costs to have in mind if you're thinking about participating than just the financial cost. One of those is man hours. How long is this going to take? So we're all very busy these days, myself certainly included. And we understand that and are doing our best to be very respectful of your time. Our survey is significantly shorter and also more dynamic than comparable surveys. We've set it up so it's about 65 questions and can be completed in just a few hours. Another key factor that organizations ask about is confidentiality. We really try to dig into the details to evaluate organizations here. And we are asking for a fair amount of information in our survey that organizations would rightly consider proprietary, confidential, would not want getting out publicly. We understand that and we respect that. So as a result, the only thing that we will publish about organizations that participate in the survey is, first, if they're recognized with an award, we publish their organization name, their organization's logo, and their award level. And it looks just like it did on that last screen I showed you all. That is it. There is absolutely no other information from the survey that we publish. We sign every year multiple non-disclosure agreements for a few select companies that want to get that memorialized in a contract. We would be happy to do the same for your organization as well if that would remove an obstacle to your participating. So if you would like to talk about an NDA, again, just email survey@vetsindexes.com and that will land right in my inbox. And as I previously mentioned, again, not every organization that submits a survey will ultimately be recognized with an award. But bottom line, if your organization were to submit a survey and not be recognized with an award, The only people who would be aware of that are you, your team of colleagues who helped work on the survey, and our very small team at VETS Indexes. That is it. So there's no reputational risk. We really wanted to set up this program so there isn't a downside to organizations participating. So we talked through some of the costs. Let's talk about the benefits of participating. And I think those mainly fall along the recruiting and recognition categories. First, you see here the logos associated with our 2024 awards. Should your organization be recognized with an award, you will receive one of these logos corresponding with your award level, as well as a custom news release that includes your organization's name, which you are free to distribute for internal communications, external communications, to your partners and media contacts, on job boards where you may have jobs listed, as you're going to recruiting events, job fairs. This year, you can kind of think of it as a seal of approval. It's a signal to veterans that your organization is serious about veteran employment issues and knows what it's doing when handling veteran employees. So, just this logo by itself can be a tremendous boon to helping spread the word about your organization's focus on veterans, as well as the news release, which again, we've customized so that it focuses on your particular organization and your organization's award level. It's ready-made for you to send to media contacts. But that being said, VETS Indexes and our Employer Awards program also have generated a fair amount of coverage across the media themselves. And so you'll see here coverage of us on Fox Business right here, CNBC featuring our 5-star and 4-star as well awardees a couple years ago, as well as some military specific publishers. We have military.com here and Stars and Stripes here. It's fantastic that all of you are focused enough on veteran employment to be joining today's webinar and be thinking seriously about these issues. It's also good to get recognition from the public, from your customer base, from your partners, supporters, suppliers, that you really are doing a great job in the veteran employment space. And we, as a third-party organization, can be, part of the process for helping folks realize just everything that your organization is doing on this front. So there are, in addition to making it possible for your organization to be recognized with awards, participating in the VETS Indexes Employer Awards Survey is going to open up some additional opportunities to your organization that I'm going to talk about now. The first of those is our Veteran Employment Benchmarking Service. So you heard me mention a few minutes ago that we collect a fairly large amount of data, 65 or so questions as part of the survey. And then you heard me say shortly after that, and the only thing we'll publish about your organization is your organization's name, logo, and award level. So in between those two, there is just a vast amount of information that we're collecting in order to calculate the employer award results and give out awards fairly. Rather than just leaving all of that great data on the cutting room floor, we developed the Veteran Employment Benchmarking Service to take all of this great, really useful veteran employment data and help organizations figure out where they stand among the crowd. So you can see an example, a couple example screenshots here. But what we do is we take the your organization's response. In this case, that's the red circle you see here, and we compare it to 3 different aggregate averages. The overall average, that's all survey respondents, regardless of type and size. the peer group average, which is organizations of a similar size and structure to your own. And finally, the five-star average, which is the average among five-star respondents, those being our highest award level, gives you a good stretch goal. So, this can, I should mention, this same benchmarking, we're able to do both question by question throughout basically every question in the entire survey, and also at a summary level across our 5 main evaluation categories. So we can really give you a comprehensive view. And something that I'm particularly excited about, we have just recently, just in this latest update, added the ability to do long-term longitudinal tracking. So we can benchmark your numbers not just for the most recent year, but through up to 5 years of survey data. So you can see, not just where you stand right now, but the long-term trend line, which can be very meaningful. So that is, and actually I realize now I should go back because I forgot to mention one very crucial piece of information related to benchmarking service, that being the benchmarking service, because it's based on data from the VETS Indexes Employer Awards program, we can only offer benchmarking to organizations that participated in the VETS Indexes Employer Awards survey. So if your organization is on the fence about whether or not you want to participate in the survey, but you are interested in the benchmarking service, it's my strong recommendation that you participate in the survey so that you have the option of taking advantage of the service later, the benchmarking service. In addition to opening up the benchmarking service to you by participating in the Employer Awards program, if you participate in the Employer Awards program, that will also grant you, your organization, one complimentary ticket to join us in person for our next Employing US VETS conference, which is going to be April 11th in New York City. I mentioned this conference at the top, but this is a twice yearly event, gathers the nation's top leaders in veteran employment to share what's worked for them, what hasn't worked, lessons learned, and great opportunities to network. Again, we had our last conference in October, about 2 months ago, and we were so gratified to see more than 2,500 people register for that, representing more than 1,500 different organizations. Just incredible numbers. We're so happy to see the surge of interest in veteran employment. Now, our next conference, again, it's going to be April 11th in New York City. We will have a virtual component, so if you can't make it to New York, you will still be able to take advantage of all of the great wisdom and insights that our speakers will share. But if you can make it to New York, I would love to see you there. You really can't replicate those great networking opportunities the same over a computer as you can in person. We do have limited opportunities still available to sponsor this conference if you're interested. I'll mention, particularly for our spring conference, sponsorships tend to go rather quickly. So if you're interested, I would advise reaching out sooner rather than later. Email info@vetsindexes.com. That'll go to my colleagues who can get you everything you need to sponsor, figure out what sponsorship level you may be interested in. If you would like to register, you can register for your ticket right now at employingusvets.com/register. And again, every organization that submits a completed survey response for the VETS Indexes Employer Awards will get one complimentary in-person ticket for our New York City event. We don't charge for the virtual tickets. We do have to recoup costs for the venue and food for folks attending in person. So, this is up to a $900 value, depending on your organization type and whether you get the early bird rate. So I definitely would recommend participating in the survey, just so you don't miss out on that opportunity. We are still in the process of putting together our agenda and speakers for the spring conference. And we're pretty close to having some announcements there, but nothing ready just yet. Stay tuned. But to give you an idea of the caliber of speakers that we have, these are the keynotes from our 2023 conferences, all of whom did an amazing job. I cannot thank them enough for their great contributions to our conferences. And they represent the organizations that really know best in this space: the Department of Defense, Department of Labor, Department of Veterans Affairs. We're expecting more great speakers for our April 11th conference. So hope to see you there. Now let's circle back to the VETS Index's Employer Awards and start digging into some of the details. First, if you are ready to get your response started, if you've heard enough and know you want to participate and want to figure out what your next step is, your next step is to find your unique link to access the survey online and click it. Make sure it works. Make sure everything is showing up as it should, and that you're able to enter information. You should already have this unique link in your inbox. It would have come in emails from either me or my colleagues. Look for the @vetsindexes.com domain. Honestly, if you found this webinar, it's probably in the same email that alerted you to this webinar. So please be on the lookout for that. If for any reason you can't find it, just email me, survey@vetsindexes.com. Tell me you need a unique link, and I will figure out what's going on and get you what you need to participate. There are a couple resources additionally that you may find very helpful as you're working on the survey. The first that I want to mention is our blank survey PDF. So this is a PDF document that will show you every possible question and every possible answer option throughout the survey. So it can be very helpful to kind of gather data beforehand and then fill out the survey. We also have a frequently asked questions page, and that's going to cover basically everything you might need to know about the entire process. So absolutely encourage you to take a look at that. Our deadline for responses is February 16th. A little less than 2 months away, but still plenty of time to work on your survey response. Now let's dig into the details, give you an idea of what to expect when you are filling out the survey. First, you see the survey sections I've listed here. Now I've only listed 5. We do have a few additional sections, a couple introductory ones at the beginning and a conclusion section at the end. I left those out. Those really aren't the heart of the survey. The heart of the survey and the heart of our focus in terms of evaluating organizations are these 5 sections. I would also encourage you to visit this link, vetsindex.com/employer-awards-methodology, where we provide even more detail on what's included in each of these sections and how heavily each of them are weighted. So I do encourage you to take a look at that. If you've taken one of our surveys previously and you're wondering, okay, what's new? What's different in this year's survey? The short answer is not much. It's largely unchanged. Of course, all of the years move forward by 1. There were a few questions where some folks were kind of confused about what we were asking for, so we tried to clarify that language just a bit. But it is, other than those few changes on the margins, very, very similar to the same survey last year. All right, so I am down to our final couple of slides before turning to questions. I want to give everyone a reminder to please enter any questions you have into chat, and I will, once we're at the end of this presentation, go through and answer everyone's questions one by one. I'll take as much time as we need to do that. So if you have questions, please start entering them now. But for our final 2 slides, I'm going to walk everyone through some tips and advice for how to fill out this survey, kind of without it being too heavy of a lift, how to fill it out most easily. And finally, on the last slide, I'll give some advice for maximizing your reward level, making sure you're doing everything you can to, represent your organization in the most, positive light possible in our survey. So first on the tips, I mentioned the blank survey PDF a couple slides ago. You may find it easier in terms of a workflow process to use that PDF, share it with various stakeholders in your organization, and use that to gather data and answers first before you try to fill out the survey online. And then fill out the survey online when you have that information gathered. That's something that's worked well, I think, for a lot of other organizations. When you're filling out the survey online, a few important things to know. First, the answers save automatically. Every time you advance a page, go forward, or go to the previous page, go backwards, all the answers you entered on that page are automatically saved. So that means you don't have to finish the survey in one setting. You can partially fill it out, close your browser window, shut down your computer, and come back the next day, the next week, even the next month, as long as the deadline hasn't expired, and pick up right where you left off. The key that makes all of this possible is the unique link that we sent you. Now, this unique link, I should mention, is unique to every email address. So every email, even email addresses for different people in the same company, has a different unique link. Please keep this in mind when filling out the survey. If both you and your colleagues received unique links to fill out the survey, and you alternate which of those links you're actually using to input information online, you will quickly find that information doesn't carry over from one survey to the other. So it's my strong recommendation that you and your organization decide on one survey link to use to respond to the survey and stick with that. Don't change it. Also, very important to mention, please do not forward your unique link outside of your organization. It's a very good idea to forward it inside your organization to your colleagues who will be helping you fill out the survey so that more than one person can work on it. That's completely fine. But what you don't want to do is, if you have a friend who works at a different organization that is focused on veteran employment that may also want to participate, please do not forward them your unique link, because if you did, what would happen is both of your two different organizations would be trying to fill out the same single survey document, which could lead to all sorts of problems. If you know of other organizations that need unique survey links, just again, send me an email, survey@vetsindexes.com, and I will get them what they need. Couple last notes here. We have set up surveys so that there is real-time validation. It checks the responses you give us, puts them in context of your other responses, and if there's anything that doesn't make sense, you'll get an automated alert that should make it a little easier to fill out the survey. It's kind of guided. And lastly, if your organization participated previously, we do have a copy of the survey. We can get you a survey link that carries over some, unfortunately not all, but some of your survey responses from last year. So if you'd like that, please just reach out to me and let me know. Again, survey@vetsindexes.com. All right, final slide. Advice on improving your award level, or if you haven't participated before, kind of making sure you're getting the top award you can. So first, and I cannot emphasize this strongly enough, provide as much information as you possibly can in the survey. The more you tell us, the better. And where we don't have information, we really can't give you credit for what you're doing because we just don't know enough. So please answer every question that you can, work with your HR information systems folks to figure out, if there's anything additional you might be able to answer. All of that being said, don't freak out as you run into questions where you don't have the data that we're asking for. We ask for a fairly robust look into your organization's veterans program, and a lot of the metrics we're asking for, organizations don't track, particularly the first year or two that they're doing the survey. So my advice would be, as you run into questions where we're asking for data that you don't have available, first, don't worry about it too much. Just skip over the question, and rest assured that there's no organization that is able to answer every question in our survey. Don't worry about that. But as you encounter those questions, please work with your HR information systems folks to see what you can do to implement tracking so that you can answer these questions on next year's survey. Next up, please be very careful when answering survey questions. You want to carefully read and follow the instructions. You'll also want to make sure you're filling out all parts of a question and not just some. If you fill out some parts of a question, but not the rest, for example, you give us military specific data, but you don't give us overall data, we may lack the context we need to judge your military specific data. So please be as complete as possible and fill out all parts of a question wherever you can, and not just some parts. On the final page of the survey, when you've gone through all of the questions, you will get to a last page, and it says at the top, you've reached the last page of the survey. If you want to submit your survey, scroll down to the bottom and click the right arrow button. If you want to go back and edit survey responses, hit the left arrow button on the bottom of your page. Below that text warning you you're on the last page of the survey, you're going to see a readback of all of your organization's answers. Please review that very carefully, make sure everything is accurate, and make sure everything is filled out as completely as possible. Again, once you hit that right arrow button below that readback of all your answers, at that point, your survey will be officially submitted. And finally, perhaps the most important thing that I'm going to say for this entire presentation is as you run into questions where you're not sure how to answer, please ask us for help. My email address is survey@vetsindexes.com. When you send a message, it goes directly into my inbox, and I'm always happy to help. Our challenge at Vets Indexes is designing a survey where it works for both the world's largest multinational corporations and very small, your county sheriff's office down the road. Different organizations will have different definitions and different understandings of the same terms. So you very well may run into questions where we're asking, does your organization do X? And you guys do Y, and you're not sure, is that close enough? Should we count it? What I want you to do in that case is reach out to me and ask. Survey@vetsindexes.com, so that we can get our heads together and figure out, what is the best way to input what your organization does in a way that's accurate and makes it possible for us to do good comparisons with other organizations. So with that, I will start taking questions. I see we already have a few that have come in. If you have a question and have not yet entered it, please do enter it into the chat box right now. If you have a question but would rather not ask it in the semi-public forum of today's webinar, completely understand that. Just shoot an email to me at survey@vetsindexes.com, and I'm happy to answer that question for you. And below that, you'll see the information for our Employing U.S. Vets conference. So with that, let me hop into the questions. First question I see from Tommy Myers. Will you be sending out this PowerPoint after the meeting? Yes, indeed, we will. We will send this PowerPoint out, and it will also appear on our website as well. In addition to sending out the PowerPoint, we will also have a Zoom recording posted on our website. So if you have colleagues who might like to see this, or perhaps you hopped on a bit late and missed the top, you'll be able to catch up on everything at the end. All right. Next question is from Raymond Ryan. I nominated my supervisor for Patriot Award and received it. How do I nominate the next award level? What is the next award level? So I believe that you're talking about the ESGR awards, Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve, for whom the Patriot Award level is their first level. I want to say first, you will not find a larger fan of ESGR than me. That is a great organization. I think a lot of people, unfortunately, too many people, when they're thinking about the federal government, they're thinking about the federal government in a regulatory kind of punitive way. That these are the people who are going to yell at us if we do something wrong. ESGR is a government agency, an offshoot of the Defense Department, whose entire mission is to help is to help companies make sure that they are following the law and kind of doing everything that they need to do for members of the Guard and Reserve who work for them. So, I absolutely encourage you all to work with ESGR if you haven't already. Great folks over there. That said, to actually answer your question, Ryan, or Raymond, the that question is best directed to employer supportive Guard and Reserve. We are completely separate organizations. We certainly do take into account, and you'll see survey questions related to employer supportive Guard and Reserve and this very program that you're mentioning, but it's really only them who can speak to their process for that program. So I refer you to them. And if you like, I can give you contact information for a few contacts over there. Just shoot me an email. All right, next question is from Kate. Can you provide the URL for the blank survey, please? That is a great question, and yes, I can. Let me try to open this up now and see if I can pull it up. There we go. So this is the URL for the blank survey. I am dropping it into chat right now. So hopefully everyone can see that. And on this page, if you just kind of scroll down, you'll notice when you hover over this, it gets bigger. Click the button, and that downloads the PDF for you. All right. Next question. I participated in the survey with my previous company and know my new company has little to no veteran-focused initiatives. Should I still participate as a baseline or build up first? That is such a great question, and I'm so glad that you asked that. And I do have a strong opinion here. I absolutely would recommend participating right now, not only so that you have a baseline level, but also so that you can take advantage of our benchmarking service. You can really use our benchmarking service kind of as a roadmap or maybe even a cheat sheet to, as you're going through the process, figuring out what are we going to emphasize, what's going to be our main focus, what are we going to try to do something with, but it's not really that much of a priority as you're building the program. You can make those decisions armed with data on what other organizations are doing, what's worked for them. You can do that if you participate in the benchmarking service. Again, the benchmarking service being tied to the employer awards program and all the data coming from there. If you don't participate in the employer awards program, you can't take advantage of the benchmarking service. So for that reason alone, I definitely think it would be worthwhile to participate. Again, if you get an award, great. If you don't, the only people who will know that you participated rather than sitting out this year are your team and my team and nobody else. All right, next question. Are you able to share the slides after the session? Yes, we will post the slides and the video on our website. Next question, what is the recognition rate for first-time applicants? Any idea? So I don't have an exact number, and I don't want to speculate too much, but I will say I have absolutely seen organizations, their first time participating get our highest award level, 5-star employer, and 4-star employer as well as the other award levels. So it's absolutely possible to participate and for the first time and get our highest award level your first time participating. Really, I think the key to being able to get that award level is to answer as much as you possibly can. And bottom line, we are big believers in you can't manage it if you can't measure it. So the more your organization is doing to measure what's going on with your veteran employees, the better we think you're doing as a veteran employer overall, and the better your chances for doing well on our survey. All right, and final question, which is a very appropriate final question. When are the results published? Great question. We will publish the results and also announce them during the April 11th Employing US VETS Conference. So we'll announce them from the stage as we did in 2023 of the Employing US VETS Conference. And that same day, April 11th, we will be publishing all of the awardees on our website, the same format and the same location as I showed you our 2023 awardees. So that appears to be all of the questions. It's 10 minutes before 2, so Eastern time. I think I will wrap things up. Again, if you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me at any point. Survey@vetsindexes.com will land directly in my inbox, and I'm always happy to help. Thank you very much for taking the time to join us for today's webinar. I hope you have a great rest of your week and happy holidays as well. Thank you.